My name is Jenny Rock. I'm from Jenny Rock Coaching, and today I am going to be talking about denial and I'm not quite sure how to term it. Stubbornness, resilience. It's not even resilience, it's just an acceptance of the reality that your life is never going to get better. So yes, today I wanted to talk about the reasons why we deny. So resignation, I think, is the word I was looking for. When we are in an abusive relationship, we don't always realise that it's abusive. So we don't always realise quite how bad it's gotten, because over time, as the abuse has worsened, our perception of normal has deteriorated to that level. So what we consider normal, other people would be horrified at. And it's really hard to actually admit that there is a problem. It's really hard to accept that actually what I'm living with here is not right. What I'm living through here, I love him. Don't want to get him into trouble. All of those things are the feelings that they have created within you deliberately to tie you to them. And they do this systematically. They do it. They create a heroin-like addiction to them. And you end up feeling like, I can't leave. I'm stuck here. This is going to be my life now forever, because I'm never going to be able to leave him, because the repercussions will be too bad. And it takes a massive amount of strength to actually acknowledge the situation, first of all, and then second of all, do something about it, because you are paralyzed with fear, because you know how bad it can get. You know how low it can get. You know how horrifically they can torture you. And whether that be physically, verbally, emotionally, whatever kind of abuse that they are throwing at you, you know the depths to which they can sink. And if you haven't already experienced those depths, you know that they are capable of them. And it's really difficult to get that strength to walk away, because you feel guilty, you don't want to get them into trouble, you love them, you don't want to ruin their life, blah, blah, blah. They don't care. They don't care that they've already ruined your life. They are purely all about what's about them. What is in it for them? They want to have you stuck at home, bringing in the money, if you're able, or if not, they hold that against you. Looking after the children 24/7, because they're too tired after work, because they've worked full time, because somebody's got to bring in the money. And even if they're not working, then somehow you still end up bringing up the children anyway. And I think this whole system of denial and resignation of, this is my life, this is what I can expect from it, is a very, very good illusion that they weave, because the truth is that you can walk away at any time. The truth is that there are resources that can help you if you are scared. The truth is that if you are brave enough and strong enough and desperate enough to take that leap, then the resources are there that can help you do that. But I found very much that for many, many, many years, I just lived with the situation. My version of normal was very different to anybody else's version of normal. I tolerated things that I should never have tolerated. I tolerated the affairs because somehow they were my fault. I tolerated the hurt, the physical hurts, because that was somehow my fault. I tolerated the sexual abuse because that was somehow my fault. I tolerated the verbal abuse because somehow it was all my fault. And when you look at it impartially, how can all that be one person's fault? logically, how can everything in a relationship be the fault of just one person? It can't. Because if you were that terrible a partner, why didn't they walk away? If you were that terrible a partner, why didn't they just leave you in the depths of hell? Why didn't they just walk away and go and have a better life with a better wife? You know? Why didn't we realize? I don't think it's why didn't we realize. We knew deep down that something wasn't right, and we just didn't want to face it. Because if we faced it, we would have to recognize what we were tolerating, we would have to give it a name, we would have to speak it out loud, and if we spoke it out loud, that made it real. So that's why we avoid talking about it, because if we don't talk about it, we can pretend it's not happening. And I've met many abused women. I've worked with many abused women, and I've worked with women that are literally a whisker away from death. If they say they're going to die, literally they are going to die, and it involved a last minute border escape, cross the border, escape from hell type of scenario. And it doesn't stop the minute you walk out the door. And we know that. And we know the capabilities of the person that we're leaving. And we don't feel like we have the strength to do it. We just don't feel like we're strong enough, because they made us feel that we're not strong enough. But the reality is we are strong enough. We are strong enough to overcome anything if we put our mind to it. But we have to want to walk away. And that's a really, really difficult situation. We have to want to walk away, because we are so drugged on the high that they can give us with just those little crumbs of attention before they then slam us back into the depths of hell, that we are like a heroin addict chasing after those crumbs. And we don't want to admit that it's all going wrong. And give me 2 seconds. Check in there. Do the stirring. Sorry, just giving instructions. What we don't realise is that life is so much better once you leave. Life is so much easier once you leave. And once we overcome those cravings in our brain that they have purposely created, then we can start a whole new life, and that new life can look like whatever we want it to look like. We can move. We don't have to stay in the same town. If the children have to start a new school, so be it. It's better, clean slate. We can speak to family members. We can get support. We can have counselling through a women's centre or through a domestic abuse centre. We can have counselling. It will help. But until we're ready to admit that we are actually in that situation, and I think that's the frustration of our loved ones that know what we're going through. And we can say, oh, I walked into a cupboard, or I slipped down the last few steps of the stairs, or I tripped and fell. We can make as many excuses as we like, but they know. They can see through all of these. And the frequency of these injuries, unfortunately, are far more than just being clumsy would warrant. And they're not stupid. They can see it. And it's really important that when we are kind of in that denial and in that place where we just feel like, do you know what? I'm stuck here forever. I'm never going to be able to escape. I might just as well make the best of it. We are actually teaching our children that this is what a normal relationship looks like. We are teaching our children, we are teaching our girls that this is how a man treats a woman, and this is what you should tolerate. We are teaching our boys, this is how you treat a woman. This is what they will tolerate. Is that what you want them to learn? And it is never too late to walk away. It doesn't matter whether you are 2 years in or 50 years in. It is never too late to restart, to press the restart button and to say, do you know what? I'm done. I am done tolerating this crap. I am done being your punching bag. I am done being blamed for every single thing that's wrong in this relationship. I am done being used and abused. And sometimes we need a bit of help. And that's one of the areas where I come in, because not only do I have a group coaching program, I have individual coaching that I'm able to offer as well. And it's not just a case of one session and we're done. I mean, we're talking months. It takes months to reprogram your brain. It takes months to get you through that grief period, that mourning period, that loss of confidence. It takes months to rebuild you back to where you need to be so that you can restart your life. But I think the important thing to remember is that you get to choose. So you get the power to decide what happens and when. Because up until now, you haven't had the power, because it's been removed from your reach. But what you don't realize is that you absolutely have the power inside of you to walk away now, to talk to somebody, to tell somebody what's going on, to ask for help if you need it, to phone the police when they hurt you. You have the power within you to do that. And no doubt you will get the guilt trip laid on you. Oh, I can't believe you've done this to me. Oh, you have to let me come back. Oh, you have to drop the charges. No, you shouldn't be an asshole. I'm sorry, I shouldn't swear on Facebook Live, but that's basically what it boils down to. You shouldn't be an asshole, because if they weren't so abusive in the first place, we wouldn't need to leave, would we? If they were kind and considerate and treated us as an equal in a partnership, which is what it should be, the person that you have in your life, that you partner with to continue with on your life, should be a person that brings you joy, that brings something to the relationship. I'm not saying that they complete you. They don't complete you. You're complete enough as you are. But somebody that makes your life better in some way, and you do the same for them. You make their life better. So maybe when you're together, the sun shines a little bit brighter. The air is a little bit sweeter. You know, the smiles are a little bit realer and not forced, and not kind of, you know, not something that you're trying to hide. And I really, really, really hope that by doing these videos every week, twice a week, on a Monday and a Thursday, by doing these videos every week, that at least one person, one woman, finds the strength to walk away from an abusive relationship. That's all I want. I will be happy. I will go to my grave happy if that happens. And I know full well that with coaching, with support, with the right kind of people walking that trail beside you to recover, life can be so much better. You know, it's one of those situations when you're on the outside and you're frustrated and you just want to kind of get hold of that person and shake them and go, I can see what you're going through. Please just let me help you. And you can't. I can't intervene in other people's relationships. Not only would that be disrespectful, but also that would be unwarranted intervention, because I don't know what happens behind closed doors. You might not be in an abusive relationship. You might have a wonderful marriage. I don't know. But I can tell you now that love is not pushing you against the wall and pinning you off by the throat. Love is not pushing you so that you fall over. Love is not throwing the food back at you because it's not good enough. Love is not belittling you in front of your friends and family for a laugh, or I didn't mean it, stop taking it personally. None of that is love. It's not making you feel small or inadequate. Love is not making you feel that you can't breathe. You're being smothered because you can't do anything, because basically they track everything that you do, everywhere that you go, and you cannot escape. You can't talk to anybody because they're always there with you. That's not love. That's control. So what I would say is if you've any doubt as to whether or not you're in an abusive relationship, then Google it. Go to when on your few opportunities that you have to go to the store on your own or to go to the bathroom on your own, take your phone with you, Google it, and then wipe the search. Comment on one of my pages and I'll come back to you. Message me and I'll come back to you. Email me, I'll come back to you. I've got a website, it's www.jennyrockcoaching.com. Whatever way you choose to contact me, it is private, it's between you and I, and unless you tell anybody that you're working with me, nobody's ever going to know. And whether that situation be that you are currently in an abusive relationship and you're trying to work your way out, or whether you have already worked your way out of the relationship and now you're just like, I have no idea what to do next. I don't know what to do. I've walked out and I'm just kind of, because I can help you. I've been through this myself. I know what it's like. I understand the process that you're going to go through because I've been there. So I'm not some psychotherapist that has done a degree and suddenly believes that they're an expert on the situation. No, I have no degree. What I do have is certification, a couple of them actually, in coaching. I do know how to get you past the way that you're feeling right now. I do know how to get you on the right track. So, you've got choices there. You can go and see somebody with a degree that's never been in this situation that is just going to kind of tell you the stuff from the textbook, or you can talk to somebody that's been there, done that, and knows exactly what you're going through or how you're feeling and why you're feeling that way, because they've lived it themselves. And I learned the hard way. I went through it all the hard way. I don't seem to like to learn my lessons the easy way. I don't know why. I seem to learn all my lessons the hard way. It just seems to be my way of being. But the help is here. You don't have to live the rest of your life like this, and life is so much better on the other side. You just have to believe in yourself enough to realize that you deserve better. And you do deserve better. Anybody that's in an abusive relationship, man, woman, child, old person, whatever, you all deserve better. So, marriage should be a partnership. Marriage or a long-term relationship, it should be a partnership, not a blame game, not an excuse to hurt people. That's not love.